What is going on, guys? This is Prodigy, and today I'm bringing a video for you guys to kind of show you guys something that I thought was interesting and to kind of give you guys some insight on something that recently changed in the game. So as you guys are probably all aware, if you've been playing Black Ops 3 recently, Treyarch just released a new update. Well, not just released, but recently they released a new update about a week ago, and it changed a lot of things in the game. You know, the Vesper's back. You know, I'm not even going to touch that one. I'm going to leave that one alone. But they made some buffs and some nerfs, and one interesting buff they made that they actually forgot to put in the patch notes at first was to the snipers. Now, they made some buffs to a couple of the snipers, mainly the Locus and the RSA interdiction, but I wanted to talk about those today because it just really didn't make sense to me what they did. So what they did to the Locus was they buffed the one-shot kill area, and yeah, that's pretty much it. They buffed the one-shot kill area for the Locust. So I'm gonna put on the screen here so you guys can see the one-shot kill areas visually, but basically the Locust will one-shot anywhere above the waist, and also including the growing areas. So anywhere from there on up, you'll get a one-shot kill with the Locust. It used to not be that way. It used to just be, you know, the mid-torso on up and not including the arms. But now everywhere above the groin is a one-shot kill with the Locust. And now the reason I say that doesn't make sense to me is because that is dangerously close to the SVG sniper rifle, which we all know gets the most one-shot kills in the game right now. Yeah, and the reason for that is because the SVG has a one-shot kill area from the kneecaps on above. So, I mean, if you shoot them above the kneecaps, literally anywhere, if you hit them in their pinky finger, you're going to get a one-shot kill. You know, that's just how the gun is coded to perform. So, you know, that's naturally the gun that everybody relies on for getting the most one-shot kills. Now, with this buff in place, the Locust is not on par with the SVG as far as one-shot kills go, technically, but I do believe with this buff in place, the Locust is now superior to the SVG, especially probably in the competitive scene, and I'm going to give you guys some reasons for that right now. So I'm going to try and show all this on the screen too at the same time so you guys can follow along. But starting with the SVG, because that's what we're comparing it to, the damage for that gun is 99, okay? Then now the base damage isn't really too relevant because it's really all about the multipliers that we're talking about right now. And as I said before, I'll show you guys again, the SVG gets a one-shot kill anywhere above the knees, alright? So keep that in mind. Now, here's where things get interesting, okay? The ADS time for the SVG is 400 milliseconds, and that is slow. That is extremely slow, especially for a sniper rifle. You know, if you're trying to snap onto people really quick, that's just, it's not going to work out. It's very slow, and if you use it, you'll definitely feel how slow it is. Alright, moving on from that, it's kind of the same story. The rate of fire, only 42 rounds per minute, and you guys can probably already know if you've used the gun, that's very slow. It shoots very slow. It's a very slow, even for a bolt action rifle, it's just really slow. Alright, now here's another thing that's kind of a negative about the SVG is this idle sway. Now in the game, the SVG has an idle sway value of 40, but that probably doesn't really mean a whole lot to you guys, so I'm just going to show you on the screen here how much the gun sways when you're just aiming down sights, you know, not holding your breath or anything, just aiming down sights, looking. This is how much the gun sways from side to side. So as you can see, it moves quite a bit while you're aiming down sight and not holding your breath. So you pretty much have to hold your breath if you want to be accurate, and obviously you can't do that all the time because you only have a limited amount of time to do so. So overall, the SVG is a very powerful, very slow sniper rifle. Now moving on to the Locust, we have a base damage of 95, but again, that's not too much of a big deal. Now here's where things get different. The ADS time for the Locust is 340 milliseconds. But now, while that may not seem that much faster than the SVG on paper, if you look at it in game, you can actually see how much faster that feels aiming down sights between the Locust and between the SVG. I mean, you can clearly see the Locust just feels so much faster, and it allows you to snap onto targets a lot quicker. And that's pretty much the story with the Locust. It's just quicker in every single category. You know, the rate of fire is 57 rounds per minute, so it can shoot faster than the SVG. I'm going to show you the one-shot areas for the Locust again, just so you guys can get a reminder. It shoots from the, now with the most recent buff in place, it shoots from the groin on up, including the arms, neck and head, torso, all of that. All of that is now a one-shot kill. So the only difference in the one-shot kill areas between the Locust and the SVG is the thigh areas, you know, between the groin and the kneecaps. That's really the only difference in the one-shot kill areas, and I personally don't think that that's that much in order to justify picking the SVG over the Locust. And before, I also want to mention the idle sway has a, the Locust has an idle sway value of 10. So you guys can see on the screen here, you know, the gun barely moves when you're aimed down sight. So it's a lot easier to use at longer ranges, especially if you use a thermal sight, because the gun just moves much less than the SVG. So you don't really have to hold your breath as much. You can kind of relax and only hold your breath when you really need to. So like I was saying before, I really can't see any reason, especially with this most recent buff in place, why you would want to use the SVG over the Locust now. And I'm wondering if this is going to change the competitive meta, because if you watch any competitive Call of Duty, you know, if you snipe, you use the SVG. You know, that's just the way it is. It's the most reliable one-shot kill gun. However, now I'm not too sure if that's still the case. I mean, obviously, you know, if you look at the statistics, the SVG technically should get more one-shots just because it has a little bit of a wider one-shot kill area. However, like I said before, that difference is really small and kind of subjective. So, I mean, will it really make that much of a difference? And with also the added fact that the Locust is better in every single other category than the SVG, I'm not too sure. So I'm really confused as to why Treyarch decided to buff this weapon, especially this much. I mean, maybe include the lower torso and groin area, but the arms, I'm not too sure about that one, because it makes it too close to the SVG, and I think that alone makes it better, if that makes any sense. So I don't know, this is just something that I've been thinking about, because, you know, some of these buffs have been kind of questionable in my eyes. Vesper. But I don't know, you guys let me know what you think. I mean, I share with you guys what I have to say, so leave in the comment section what you guys think about this buff. Do you think it's not a big deal? Do you think the SVG is still far superior to the Locust? You know, let me know what you guys think. But for now, that's all I got for you guys. Once again, this is Prodigy. Thanks for watching.